Hey guys, and welcome to another GameXplain discussion. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined today by Ash Paulson, Nathan from Sonic Paradox, and the great Clement to discuss the reveal of the Mega Man Legacy Collection, which contains the first 6 Mega Man games. So let's get started. So guys, kind of out of nowhere, pre-E3, Capcom didn't even save it for E3, they just put it out there for their European channel, YouTube channel, and put out the trailer. We got a new Mega Man game coming. Kinda.
I think it's good that they didn't announce it at E3, because that probably would have been like a Final Fantasy VII bomb. Like, oh, Mega Man! And then it's like 1 through 6. Oh.
There's 5 classic Mega Mans missing right now.
Just a bit, yeah. I guess that is some of the issue that people had. But the Legacy Collection, for those of you who have not heard about this, is basically just a kind of an HD thing, kind of like how, I guess, some of the other like HD updates that they did for like where they didn't really touch it up but just gave it like a fine tuning, I guess, to make it look good. I don't know exactly. They're saying they give it a coat of paint for HD, but I'm not quite sure what that means. But yes, it's the first 6 Mega Man games. For some reason, 7 through 10 and Mega Man Base are not included. And this has already caused a bit of a controversy because people are like, well, we got the Anniversary Collection on the PS2 and all those other systems, and why aren't they part of this? And yeah, so I thought it'd be interesting to talk about our feelings on this reveal and just get our general impressions. So, Ash, why don't we start with you?
Well, I mean, any GameXplain fan knows that I'm a giant Mega Man fan, so this is a pretty exciting day for me. No, I know it's not exactly what everyone wants. Of course, what we all want is a new game, and I get that, but I do think that we are kind of well past the point where we can still expect a Mega Man 11 or X9 or Legends 3 or whatever, because the industry has changed. It's not the kind of industry where you can package a game like Mega Man and sell it as a $60 retail title. Capcom's at the point where they kind of had to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to reintroduce Mega Man to a new generation, because we're not in the kind of time anymore where we can have 7 different sub-series, each getting like an annual update. As much as I would love for that to continue forever, the reality is that it can't. And so I think the approach they're taking in terms of kind of remastering these 6 core seminal titles and reintroducing them to a new generation is a solid approach. Now, of course, I wish 7 through 10 were included. Mega Man and Base, okay, sure, that would be nice. But at the same time, the first 6 Mega Man Classic games are really what Mega Man Classic is known for. I love 7. I kind of like 8. I love 9 and 10. I wish they were in there, but I kind of see why they're not, because we're really looking at remastering only the NES games here. And I believe, is it Other Ocean, the developer?
I think it's Digital Eclipse.
Well, it's Digital Eclipse, but it's a company within Digital Eclipse, or an offshoot within Digital Eclipse called Other Ocean, I think.
Oh, geez.
Okay.
I didn't even hear that. I just saw Digital Eclipse.
It is. I just looked it up. It is Other Ocean. So, and they're kind of like they're an offshoot of Digital Eclipse. But the way they were talking about it was that they're kind of looking to do the kind of a Criterion collection, but for video games, and they're starting that with the 6 classic Mega Man games for NES. And I've read all the reactions, I've seen all the people talking online about it, and the general feeling against it seems to be that this is what Mega Man Anniversary Collection was, but less. And I get that argument. But at the same time, I think a lot of people conveniently forget just how terrible a port job Mega Man Anniversary Collection was. I mean, you can go back and play them now, and I'm not talking about just the terrible GameCube controls. I'm talking about the actual ports. I mean, we're talking muddy pixels, blurry graphics, toilet music. I mean, the Mega Man has some of the best video game music of all time, if not some of the best music of all time, and the music was botched in Anniversary Collection as well. And the Anniversary Collection specific content had terrible English localization. I mean, so yes, in terms of the volume of content, what we're getting with the Legacy Collection is undoubtedly less. But in terms of the quality of the content, we're getting quite possibly the best version of the first 6 games we've ever seen since the originals. as well as, challenges, online leaderboards where you can watch replays with the best Mega Man players, and a museum mode where you can see, concept art sketches. And I know some people are like, well, but I have the Mega Man art books. Hey, I was the editor on the Mega Man art books. I appreciate that you have them, but not everyone has them. Not everyone has those, and so they're for those people at least, they're getting something that they don't have in another form. So I do understand the criticisms, but I think a lot of people are overlooking the fact that Anniversary Collection wasn't that good.
Yeah, totally agree. Anniversary Collection, yeah, it's certainly got like that weird. There's also like a little bit of delay to the controls I felt with like the
Input
PlayStation
lag, yeah.
Shooter. Yeah, there's input lag where like sometimes you would make a move and Mega Man would take a little extra second just to start moving and stuff, and it was like, this isn't how it was in the NES days. And I guess if you're like a real nitpicky, like, oh, it has to be faithful to the original, they localized all the best like typos from Capcom's, like from the older games, where it's like, in Mega Man 6, Mr. X says failed without E.
Yeah.
There's
the Mega Man 7 typo is missing in the Anniversary Collection.
Yeah, it's not Dr. Willy anymore.
It's not Dr.
Right.
Willy.
but I don't think they didn't correct the typo in the ending, right? That I gonna do what I should have done a long time ago.
No, that's still in there.
Yeah, that's
still in
stayed.
there. And
I
thank
love
God
that.
for that.
Probably the worst offense of just taking stuff out is the ending of Mega Man 7, isn't it?
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah, they did remove it.
Yeah.
That's the best thing. You beat up Dr. Wily, and then the whole place explodes with Mega Man walking away because cool guys don't look at explosions.
Yeah.
And
It's such a badass moment.
I know. And it's like just completely omitted. It's just credits. It's just fade to black. There's white text. That's it. And it's like,
Yeah.
I guess I would say that the Anniversary Collection, it was always a good collection to have for like PlayStation 2 and Xbox, but of course the GameCube controls were reversed and you couldn't switch them, which was kind of silly. And I feel like it was a higher price, plus you were getting like 7 and 8 and Power Battles and Power Fighters and all that stuff. And
Sure.
this is mostly just focusing on like the old stuff. And I like the fact that all these bonus features are going to be in it, because one of my favorite things about Mega Man 10 was the fact that you could rewatch like the top high scores, like the top times on the leaderboard section, so you could see how quickly and how good other players were at, say, Pump Man stage, and see how they could get through something so quickly. And just the easeability and like the quickness of being able to just like watch that and go like, oh, I didn't know the rolling wheel could do that, or whatever Commando Man's weapon is. Or no, it was Nitro Man.
It was the Commando Bomb, and then the Nitro Man's was the spin wheel, I think, right?
Yeah, the wheel
Or no,
you could
is
use
that-
to ride up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, and when I watched those replays, I saw that like, oh, the wheel can actually ride up the wall. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see that kind of stuff for all 6 of the games, and the new challenges also have me kind of interested, because I've always had, my own kind of challenges with like the classic Mega Man games. Like I'd always go for like a Mega Buster only run or something like that, but I'm interested to see what kind of like little challenges they want to give us and what kind of obstacles I have to overcome playing an old familiar game.
Beat Mega Man 2 without the Metal Blades.
Yeah, that has to be one of them. And, another thing, speaking back to why, 7 through 10 aren't in there, again, they're using this as a way to reintroduce Mega Man to a new generation and explain to a generation who might not be as familiar with him, other than him being that blue robot from Smash Brothers, why he's an icon, like why he's in Smash Brothers in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
And straight up, I personally think 7's super underrated, but a lot of people don't like it. And 8 is not exactly a great example of why he's an icon. It's a good game on its own, but it's not a great Mega Man game in my opinion, and Mega Man and Bass is even farther from that. So... but then 9 and 10, of course, they're great, and they do show why he's an icon, but then how weird would it be to have a Mega Man Legacy collection of 1 through 6 and 9 and 10? Because then 7 and 8 really stand out as not being in there. So I kind of get where they're coming from on this, because they want to showcase only the really, really, really good iconic games, even though 9 and 10 are part of that, and I would argue 7, the general consensus on 7 is that it wasn't as good. I disagree with that, but I'm not who they're necessarily marketing this to.
Right. I see what they're going for with the whole legacy being where Mega Man started on the NES. It's only the NES games. But I kind of feel like calling it a legacy collection, it kind of has a little bit of a misleading property to it. I'm very excited for the challenge stuff, and the what it looks like with all the museum stuff, it looks like it's actually more than what the Anniversary Collection had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I'm really excited to see what all it has, because the Anniversary Collection didn't have all the concept art like they've shown off. It had, concept art for certain things if you did beat certain things in Anniversary Collection, and it had one episode of the Battle Network show. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
They also had that G4 Icons episode that was all about Mega Man 2 for like the other versions.
Yeah.
And they had didn't they have, was it the Mega X episode of the Ruby Spears cartoon, or one of the Ruby Spears cartoon episodes?
I know the Xbox version definitely has the Battle Network episode, like the very first Battle Network one.
Okay.
I want to say they each had something different. Like the GameCube one had the icons, and the PlayStation 2 one is the one that had the Ruby Spears Mega Man. So they all got something a little different, and it was such an odd choice to like split it up like that. I too is really interested in the Challenge remix. Like I know it's not going to happen, but I kind of have this like hope that it'll like integrate some of the Wily Wars ideas into the challenge mode, because I've never played Wily Wars, but everybody talks about how great Wily Tower was, and being able to mix and match all the different weapons and to have maybe something like that just with all 6 games, that would be really cool. I'd love to see if they could try to pull something off, and maybe not have new bosses and stuff, but just going through specific challenges, being able to choose which sub-weapons you want and use.
Right. And something that I'm personally excited about that I think is just kind of being taken for granted here is the fact that for the first time ever, Mega Man 1 through 6 are going to be presented in native 1080p. And I saw a few direct feed screenshots on the US Gamer article talking about Mega Man Legacy Collection. And they look stunning. I mean, I've never seen Mega Man look that great before. I mean, the classic Mega Man games. So I think the fact that we're getting native 1080p versions of Mega Man 1 through 6 is something that we shouldn't exactly pass off as not being a big deal. I mean, these are going to look great. And, whatever HD flair means, whatever other graphical flourishes there are, I've heard that it might be something akin to what you see in, like, Darkstalkers Resurrection, where there's the original sprites but touched up to look a little better and a little more modern. So I think the graphics themselves are going to be untouched, but I think they're going to come with a few, accoutrements and just a general kind of shine that they might not have had before.
They're going to look like they pop.
Yeah, it's not going to be a total remastering or anything, and I think that's okay. I mean, part of what people love about those games is the iconic sprites and Mega Man's look and the way he runs and jumps and shoots and all all the Robot Masters. Like, I think if that was messed with too much, people might go too far the other way and be like, wait, this isn't the Mega Man we remember.
It's also interesting that they actually proudly announced that this was developed with an all-new engine, something called the Eclipse engine. And, it's interesting that they pointed that out. It's like, okay, are they going to use this engine to bring out more Mega Man games from the past, or are they going to use this for other classic Capcom games and we're going to get other legacy collections? Like, I'm curious what they're going to do with this new engine, because it's kind of rare that a developer creates a new engine for just one game.
Yeah, I was glad you mentioned that, because like lately there's been a lot of interesting news about Mega Man. There's the new TV show that's coming out, which is due for like the 30th anniversary in 2017. And they also said that they got like a new producer for Mega Man over at Capcom, which makes me think that maybe they are working on something. And a lot of frustration about this package, not just the fact that Anniversary Collection had more, was that, again, people are very much like, oh, well, it's not a new game. Why, Capcom? Why won't you give us a new game? And I always see this as a kind of sign that, maybe this is leaning towards something new. Maybe this is pushing us to, like, hey, if you like Mega Man Legacy Collection, guess what? This is just an introduction so we can get you ready for whatever we're coming out with next. Maybe. I don't know if they're ever going to make another one in the next 2 years, but that'd be cool.
I get what you're saying, Clement, with that, and it's really weird that they're releasing this the year before his 30th anniversary. So maybe they could be doing what Clement's talking about with, giving us a taste of what made Mega Man what Mega Man is. Maybe for the 30th anniversary they might release something special for him. Let's hope.
I really hope so, because I actually really liked the video you did a while back, Clement, where you said Mega Man's not dead. He's not been gone long enough. Compared to plenty of other franchises that, people are already so ready to declare him dead, mainly because of all the cancellations. And yes, those cancellations sucked. Legends 3 hit me hard.
Yeah.
It was very knee-jerk. Like, once Universe got canceled and Legends 3 got canceled, and when we got news of that Metroid Prime-developed first-person shooter Mega Man thing that never even saw the light of day, like, we never even heard of it. Mm-hmm. We never even heard of it before it was canceled. There was just this knee-jerk like, oh, Capcom has put a gun to Mega Man's head, and they just blew his brains out right in front of us. It's over. This is them saying he's dead, but it's like,
He hasn't really been dead.
Like the comics are still going strong. Nintendo Wii U has been getting so many Mega Man titles, like, constantly. Like, you can get all the Game Boy games, the NES games, you can get all the GBA games right now, and even on PlayStation, Misadventures of Tron Bonne just got on PlayStation Network, and Mega Man 8 just got on PlayStation Network. So they're definitely, like, putting Mega Man there and saying, like, if you want access to Mega Man, we're getting him to you, We're getting all these games, and I wouldn't be surprised if 04, ZX, and whatnot come to Wii U as well. Like, I'm pretty sure those are all coming in the future.
Oh, they have to be.
Totally. I'm pretty sure they're going to put the ZX games for the DS.
Oh, I'd love that, because I've always wanted to try out the ZX games. I guess let's address that elephant in the room, though, because you mentioned how they've been coming out on the Wii U and having access to all these different Mega Man games if you wanted them. Yet, with the Legacy Collection, for some reason, it's not available on the Wii U. It's PS4, Xbox One, PC, and 3DS for some reason. And I guess you could say, and I've seen people say it, that this is because you can get them all individually, and Nintendo wants to do that individually or something like that. But you can get all 6 of these games on the 3DS already. So why the difference? I'm not sure. I don't quite get that, especially since we also have the Legacy Collection coming out in summer for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, yet we don't have to wait till the winter for 3DS. It's a very curious tactic, and I'm not quite sure why they're excluding the Wii U.
Well, I have 2 answers for you there.
Okay.
I'll address your first question, the Wii U question first, and a lot of people aren't going to like it, especially people listening, but what is the only other system not getting Legacy Collection is what? The Vita, right? Mm-hmm. What do the Wii U and Vita have in common? They don't sell very well. And that's probably honestly it. I mean, the Wii U probably doesn't have as large enough an install base for Capcom to think it's worth porting the Legacy Collection to Wii U.
Yeah, Capcom hasn't really put like Resident Evil the remake or Devil May Cry 4 or DMC on Wii U either. So
yeah, I mean, it is a shame because Mega Man is being basically marketed as a Nintendo character at this point on the Wii U eShop. I mean, you can search for him by character in the eShop, and he's right there alongside Mario. I mean, he's gotten so much advertisement in the eShop, especially with all the Virtual Console games and everything. I mean, he basically is being seen as a Nintendo character at this point, which is why it is too bad it's not coming to Wii U, and I think that's a shame. But at the end of the day, money talks, and business is business, and I get the decision from that standpoint. As for the 3DS version, I'm praying and hoping that the reason it's taking until winter for that version is because they're adding stereoscopic 3D. There are no other NES games I want to play in stereoscopic 3D more than Mega Man 1 through 6. And if that's what they're adding, that justifies a second purchase to me. Easily.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a very nice addition. And honestly, I can't argue with this price. $15 for all 6 of these games with all these extras, and you look at how much it costs to get just one of them. I think it's like, what, $5 typically on the Wii U to get just Mega Man 1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah.
And so you can't go wrong with this deal. And I've already seen some people say, like, okay, we can finally talk with our wallet. We can get this new thing and hopefully get something new from Mega Man. But there's so much cynicism out there already. It's like, well, how long is it going to be till Capcom cancels this one? How, what's it going to, all this, like, negativity, and I'm like, they're throwing us a bone here, and maybe I'm like too hopeful, maybe my head's in the clouds or whatever, but I really want to support this game and show them that yes, we want more Mega Man. Give us more of these games, show us what they can do with it. And I've also seen cynicism like, oh, Mighty Number 9 has all this stuff, let's show that we still have Mega Man. It's like, no, it's just coincidence there.
Yeah, Capcom has nothing to fear from Mighty Number 9.
No.
I mean, let's just be honest. And not that it looks crappy. I think Mighty Number 9 looks fine. But Capcom and Mega Man have nothing to fear from Beck or Mighty Number 9. It's a cool game, and I think it's cool that Inafune is producing it. That's great. But Beck is never going to be on, the icon status, the icon level that Mega Man is. So the two they're not competing. There's no competition.
Plus, it's like, I don't think Mighty Number 9 is going to be coming out every single year. Like, at this point, Mighty Number 9's taken quite a bit just to come out by itself. And
exactly.
Mighty Number 9 2 does come out It's probably not going to be for another 2 or 3 years. I don't know.
Yeah, we're never gonna see something with like Mighty Number 9 with Beck like we have with Mega Man, like you guys have said. That'd be like saying, you know, As Your Striker Gunvolt, like expecting another game from them coming out once a year. You know, we're not gonna see that. Mega Man has reached his icon status. He's reached his legacy status, and that's why we're getting the Legacy Collection.
Yeah, and hearing what you said, Clement, I think you and I feel much the same way about the overall status of Mega Man. I mean, I know it's been 5 years since the last truly new Mega Man game, which is Mega Man 10, and that's a long time for fans, but in the grand scheme of things, especially in game industry speak, that's not that long a time. I mean, other healthy, like high-profile series have laid dormant for far longer than that. Metroid comes to mind. I mean, it was a lot more than 5 years between Super Metroid and Metroid Prime. I mean, that's my whole point, is that people were way too reactionary and knee-jerk in calling Mega Man dead. I mean, any character who is a third-party guest in a Smash Brothers game is not dead. They're the exact opposite. And even if we haven't been getting games, like you said, Clement, we've been getting comics, we've been getting merchandise, we've been getting the virtual console releases. If Capcom well and truly wanted Mega Man dead, we wouldn't be getting any of those things.
Yeah,
so
really.
it's less that he's dead. It's not that he's dead at all. It's more that, in my opinion, they're going back to the drawing board and really figuring out how to make him relevant again. Because, I mean, let's not fail to address the fact that Mega Man sales were declining, you know, most recently with Star Force. I mean, the Star Force series tanked, and it never really recovered. ZX Advent sold terribly. I mean, they couldn't keep up what they were doing because Mega Man really would have died then. You know, if they kept making X9, X10, ZX3, ZX4, sales would have become just a joke.
I'm convinced Mega Man 9 was retro because it wasn't selling well, and they wanted to, like, breathe some life into it and be like, hey, this one's retro and old school. And then it got people's attention because, like,
yeah,
the PSP games, Powered Up was a great game. Like, even though it had that chibi look, it had all the challenges, it had the custom level editor that Universe was going to be all about. It had, you could play as the Robot Masters. You could
characters, yeah.
You could be Gutsman, you could be Time Man and Oil Man and all that stuff. And that game didn't sell well, and they wanted to make Powered Up 2 and Powered Up 3, but no one bought it on the PSP, and, you know, I guess maybe they should have put it on, like, Xbox Live or something, but...
Yeah, I mean, I think the unfortunate fortunes of Mega Man Powered Up and Maverick Hunter X were more because they were on the PSP than anything. I think if they had been done on the 3DS or a console at that point, they might have sold a little better, but the PSP was still super fledgling at that time, and it's a real shame because, as you said, Powered Up was so good, and I think Maverick Hunter X was really good too, and I was so excited to see, Maverick Hunter X2 through X5 at least.
Oh yeah.
And I was so hyped for that, and then it just didn't happen because the sales weren't there. And I mean, I remember the whole fiasco with the Mega Man X collection, where they were supposed to relocalize those games and redub them, add voice acting, I think, in X5 or redub X4, and redo the localization for X5 and X6. They were going to do it all, and they didn't because Capcom wanted to hold those changes back for the Maverick Hunter X games to make them a little more enticing. But then those never materialized, so we never got any of that at all, and it was so frustrating.
Yeah.
I was so hopeful for more of the... I never tried Power Up, but I did play the Maverick Hunter X, and I love that game. I mean, it had a lot of interesting remixes. It threw me off so much when Show Penguin did not contain the boots boots upgrade. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
I can't dash.
I can't dash. What do I do? That was great, but I love the changes to the story. I thought it made it that much more interesting. I was really excited to see what they would do with the story for X2, X3, because those games just are kind of forgettable when it comes to story. And then you get to X4, which is my personal favorite of the X games. Yeah. And to see how they treated that, I was so hopeful to see more of that, and nothing. And that's sort of been the pity. Is like we got cult fans have these bastions where they like, a lot of people like Advent, but not enough. And same with Legends. A lot of people like it, not enough. And
yeah, Legends was never a good seller.
No, which is so unfortunate. If only did it and the way it did.
Neither was Advent, and that sucks because Advent left a lot to be discussed.
The ending.
Yes.
That cliffhanger ending.
Every game has a bad cliffhanger. X9 was like, oh, what's that in Axel's head? What was that spark in Axel's head? We'll never know.
I mean, one thing, I'm just glad that they were able to at least finish the Battle Network and Zero stories. At least we have 2, and Star Force. So at least we have 3 Mega Man series where they actually were able to bring the story to an actual close.
True.
Or classic as well, if you consider that, like, Dr. Wily gets defeated eventually, and they'll just continue on as always, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But
that doesn't really need an end. There's no, like, cliffhanger that could possibly happen in Mega Man. But anyway, guys, I think we're getting a little off topic here, but that's all right. Because Mega Man is just a lot of fun. Like, that just shows the passion. Like, we can get distracted and talk about the old games and what we want to see and what we want them to do and hope to see happen. But at this point, I'm willing to take anything. But anyway, guys, any final thoughts on the Legacy Collection or anything else?
For me, I would just have to say that I would put money down at this point, and I think you probably would too, Clement, that there is going to be a new Mega Man game coming on the horizon. I don't have any insider information. I don't know that for sure, but I think it's important to look at Mega Man Legacy Collection for what it represents, and not just its actual content. I mean, I think the content's going to be great, and I can't wait. But it represents just one more step in this overall revival of Mega Man we're seeing, and I think that's important to remember that. And if you guys want to see Mega Man return, vote with your wallets. Maybe you want 7 through 10, but you know what? You have several ways you can play 7 through 10 already. Buy 1 through 6 in 1080p and with challenges and this museum mode. Capcom is throwing us a bone here. It's a Capcom US led project. They're really trying. I think we, if the Mega Man fans out there, I think we owe it to ourselves not to be cynical and to really give this a shot so we can get a new game, because I really think that they have every intention to make one, or maybe already are making one. But I think we should vote with our wallets and support this.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I've never been one to be in the cynical party where it's like a whole bunch of cancellations happen, and then I was just like, Capcom, you're the worst. You hate everything. And, like, I understand people are frustrated and stuff, but I just don't hold any AAA company to that kind of standard where if I don't get the game I want, I get mad at them and stuff. I know people are also bummed about, like, Silent Hills and stuff. And Konami, whatever, their business, but it's like, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at any game company that does this kind of thing. And, the Legacy Collection interests me because it looks good. I'm very interested in the challenge mode. I'm interested to see, like, some of the top runners and see all their cool tricks on, like, the replay leaderboards and stuff. I'm interested to see what kind of museum art and whatever they have. And it's just a cool collection. And, I'm happy that, like, Xbox users, PlayStation 4 users, Steam users are all getting access to Mega Man as well, not just Nintendo. So it's good to expand the market and not just have it for the people who bought the Wii U and 3DS. Mm-hmm. I'm super hopeful for the future because of this TV show coming out on the 30th anniversary. I'm super hopeful that something is in the works. They got a new producer. Something is mixing over there. Capcom has not ignored Mega Man. They've certainly been focusing attention on it. This could be the step to something greater. So I'm going to buy it because I always do.
Yep.
And hopefully it turns out good, and hopefully it's not a bad port or anything. Like, I hope it plays well. I hope there's no input delay or anything. But I'm gonna play it.
I think Ash, you and Clement said it the best. They are going to. I have a very strong feeling they're going to use this as a gateway to revive Mega Man in that sense of a new game and a new breath of fresh air, whatever you want to call it, because Mega Man's 1 through 6 were what everyone goes back to. Those are the ones they have the fondest memories with. So having the legacy, everyone talks about Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3, the original being how hard it was, but it's just, this is going to be that breath of life to bring Mega Man into the modern era. They tried doing that with Star Force and Battle Network, but it changed it too much. Having the Legacy Collection with the 1080p and all the different stuff, it's going to be great, and I'm definitely going to buy it as well.
I think it's important to remember that a lot of people who know how awesome Mega Man, pretty much, I would say most of the people who know how awesome Mega Man was and know why he's in Smash Brothers are in their 30s or their late 20s, and a lot of kids who are growing up with video games today really do just see him as that weird blue robot guy from Smash Brothers. Like, they don't understand where he comes from. They don't have that context, and I think it's really important for Capcom to reestablish that context before they can kind of reintroduce, a new Mega Man game proper.
Oh yeah, with Smash Brothers and the Amiibo and everything, like, this is this time to strike while the iron's hot, as far as I'm concerned. Like, Capcom should be seeing this as an opportunity to be like, oh, people are starting to find out who Mega Man is, eh? Well,
yeah.
Here's Mega Man. Have this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they did with Earthbound.
That's what they did with Fire Emblem. That's how Fire Emblem came to the U.S. is because people got interested because who's this Marth guy? Who's this Roy guy? What's this all about?
Yeah, that's very true.
And so I really hope that Capcom sees this, and I'm with the rest of you. This, to me, leads to something greater, which is why I will be buying it, and I don't care what it is, because it's a good deal. Just simple fact, it's a good deal. Yes, you don't get everything that the Anniversary Collection has, but you get it all in good shape as far as we can tell. Even if you're just looking at the other games on that you can get on digitally. And I really can't wait to see what Capcom has up their sleeve. If anything, I really hope they do. But a new producer, a new TV show. I love the comic series. There's so much to love about Mega Man right now, and to hope that they just keep it going. And I really think they will.
Well said.
Oh, thanks. But all right, guys, I think that covers it for our Mega Man discussion. So thank you guys for watching. And if you like this video, be sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. And Nathan, where can they find you at?
They can find me on Twitter at SurgingPNSK. Yeah, pretty much that.
Okay. And Clement, where can they find you at?
You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Miiverse, PSN, whatever, at ClementJ64.
Awesome. Yep, check out their stuff. They like their Mega Man. They like their Sonic. There's plenty to like there. But anyway, of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Mega Man and other things gaming too. Until next time, guys. Bye.